dinadaan nila ito araw-araw. Pangalawa, yung mga siyempre, alam mo na yung mga basura, nakalat sa tabi-tabi. Diba? Yung mga naninigarilyo. Tatlo yan.
Dahil sa mga usok na mga bit, tsaka sa mga naninigarilyo sa kalsada.
Ang mga sasakyan, dahil sa usok ng sigarilyo.
Para sa akin, yung nagkakos ng air pollution is yung mga tao. Kasi wala silang disiplina, hindi sila marunong magtapon ng mga basura nila sa tamang basurahan.
So, tingin ko po yung mga possible causes ng air pollution is that yung mga usok na galing sa mga sasakyan and yung mga paninigarilyo natin. And galing sa mga factories.
Unang-una, yung mga factory, dapat meron silang proper waste disposal. Tapos, yung mga lumang sasakyan, o kaya yung mga pagsusunog na hindi naman kailangan dapat gawin is tigilan na lang.
Para ma-prevent yung air pollution is para i-separate natin yung mga landfill waste sa mga recyclable. To prevent air pollution is stop natin yung pagsusunog ng goma, plastic at mga pagsisiga. Sa tingin ko, lesson yung sa mga nag-iossi para ma-lessen yung pollution.
Para sa akin, one way para ma-prevent yung air pollution is i-less yung vehicles o yung mga sasakyan dito sa Pilipinas.
Maria, thanks so much for joining us. Your report says 9 out of 10 people on Earth breathe in air with a high level of pollutants. That means both of us, presumably, are breathing in a high level of pollutants?
I'm probably more lucky than you because I'm in Geneva, but still, yes, we are both breathing air that is putting at risk our health. Depending where you are, you will have a higher risk or a lower one, but still.
And the effects of breathing in high-level pollutants, you draw extrapolations with the ideas of dying of cancer and heart disease?
Well, this is the point. If WHO is so much interested on air pollution is because this is dramatically affecting human health. And the reasons why, when you breathe this polluted air, I mean, those fine particles that are you are breathing, they will go very deep on your lungs and then go into your cardiovascular system, representing a huge mortality, 7 million deaths. 7 million deaths occurring every year due to exposure to air pollution. The diseases are stroke, heart diseases, obstructive chronic pulmonary diseases, including asthma, and lung cancer, and of course pneumonia in children. So I think it's dramatic enough for us to take and scale up this problem and raise awareness about this huge public health challenge we are in front of us.
I want to get to Europe in a second, but this figure you just mentioned, 7 million, 20,000 people will have died between sunrise and sunset today. How on earth do you arrive at such a figure?
Well, we don't want to be apocalyptic and paralyzing people with these terrific figures. What we want is people to realize that measures can be taken. There are interventions that have proved that are very, very effective. And if you take those interventions and you reduce air pollution, the health will be improving almost immediately. So this is the very positive part. So all of this alert is coming with good solutions and interventions to reduce this air pollution and therefore immediately see the benefits for human health.
But you know that in, say, Europe, the biggest car companies like Volkswagen have been done for forging air quality testing. How can we trust our political leaders, who are sometimes being lobbied by these car companies, let alone the car companies themselves?
More we know about this problem, more we know about these figures, more we know that air pollution is affecting our health, more the population will be putting pressure in the politicians, the right pressures that they need to put on the car producers as well. I think the solution will come from a more sustainable transport. People want to commute. So give us good solutions, and then the car companies will be able to produce good solutions for this, more sustainable, not pollutant, and it's feasible. And there will be a big market for that. And our politicians are starting to feel that pressure, particularly mayors, because they are the ones that are very much responsible for the health of the people on their little town or big town. And those solutions related to traffic, but not only traffic, transit and traffic is part of the problem, but there are others. There is the emissions, the type of fuels we are using, the type of energy that as a country we are investing on it, how much we are moving on this renewable energy transition. And those countries who will be doing that, they are the ones that will be gaining from economic point of view, from the human health point of view, and the reduction of the cost that we are paying at the moment.
So why do you think, given your report is saying 208,000 deaths a year in Europe, that over 7 years is double the death toll of the Syrian civil war, that infrastructural spending that you've just been talking about seems not to be prioritized compared to, say, bombing Syria at the moment?
I mean, this is an extremely difficult question, but if we look at the public health, the basis of public health, it will make a lot of sense to invest on reducing risks for our health that at the same time are promoting a more sustainable development and a normal life. Look at the richest countries, look at the Scandinavians. They are rich, they are going into a sustainable development, and at the same time they are protecting health. So to not destroy the environment and paying the price in our lungs is possible. Obviously, if you look at the geopolitics, I think I will agree that we need to prioritize a little bit better on the way we are doing now, certainly.
But critics of this kind of report, shall I say, maybe Scott Pruitt of the US Environmental Protection Agency, may ask you, why is it that life expectancy has actually been rising as pollution levels have been rising in the countries?
Well, we are
in your report?
Well, you see, first you have the part of the life expectancy. It might be reducing in the next year. So the next generation might not have the same life expectancy as our generation is having. So that will be reduced for different risk factors, but definitely air pollution is one of them. And second, I think, is the cost. I mean, why do I need to pay and be permanently with a bronchitis or having asthma very often, or being hospitalized because I have a chronic respiratory disease, or developing in 20 years from now a lung cancer? I think those are the questions that our population is asking today, and there is not controversy there. It's very clear that this is happening, and this is very clear as well that we don't want to live on a place where you can't breathe. I think citizens in China and in India are starting to demand that very clearly, and I think it's a very logical demand. I mean, we need to have access to safe water, food, and clean air to breathe every day. There is no discussion around that, I think. And it's a question of magnitude. You can challenge as much as you want the figures, but when you look at the magnitude of the problem, there is no discussion.
Poisonous particles that can be as small as a molecule. With every breath, they break through your lungs' protective barriers. There, they trigger inflammation as your system tries desperately to fight back.
this greenhouse effect, Earth's average temperature would drop to minus 18 degrees Celsius, and the temperature would swing wildly between day and night. The new denser atmosphere of water vapor from the oceans would act as a greenhouse gas, raising the temperature. Unfortunately, the increased temperature would allow more water to transition from the sea into the air.
travels through the power grid as electricity can't, preventing it from becoming a bigger player on the world market. That's why researchers are trying to convert solar and wind energy into liquid ammonia, which would allow renewables to be stored and shipped as easily as petroleum products.
Investing the time to become an eco-friendly city certainly has its benefits, such as energy reduction, which in turn lowers costs and reduces greenhouse gas emissions. In Columbia, Missouri, businesses are incentivized to improve their energy efficiency through a city-wide grant system. Columbia's City Green program determines how much energy a particular business uses, and then offers to pay for half the cost of an energy audit. Once the audit is completed, the city will pay for repairs up to $12,500. To keep the city looking great, Columbia has a number of green groups, which are coalitions of like-minded people who collaborate to achieve common environmental goals. These groups clean rivers, restore animal habitats, and promote beautification, restoration, and citywide recycling.
The elf is easy to spot, even through a collage of cars. It's more than just its vivid color coding, from wasabi green to mango. This category-defying pod-shaped vehicle doesn't look like anything else on the streets. Jeff Fink rides his elf 40 miles round trip to work each day.
Buildings are as energy efficient as possible. Today's energy-saving buildings are built with an approach to construction known as whole building design.
To avoid air pollution, we must consider some factors such as limiting driving by carpooling, using public transportation, walking, and biking.
Stop burning dried leaves and plastic materials because it adds up to the air pollution. Instead, recycle it and use it for beneficial purposes.
The simplest way to keep our air clean is instead of cutting trees, we should plant more for us to have a healthy and clean environment.
Every time we drive to school, use our heater or air conditioner, clean our windows, or even styling our hair. We make decisions that affect air pollution. We shouldn't trash our breath. Instead, we should make another seat to breathe.
For us to have a clean and healthy environment, we should stop tolerating the use of illegal factories for us to lessen the air pollution.
Stop air
pollution.
Go for possible solution.